Oops, last.
Hey guys, it's Doug and Marcy from Northern Lights Soap Works. We're doing a shea and cocoa butter soap. Marcy's using the heat transfer method. She's working out the last little bit of
Very stubborn cocoa butter.
Very stubborn cocoa butter. She's got her colors already set out and prepared. Some lovely mica from Candora Soaps. Our scent for our soap today is called Sand Dune. And as you can see, she's got one stubborn
little stubborn thing right there.
And
that's cocoa butter.
And it's hanging on for dear life.
It just doesn't want to melt. I mean, I could just stick blend it.
Hey guys, we're back again. As you can see, Marcy is ready to attack and waz her soap with the stick blender.
I pulse it because I don't want it to get thick too quickly. So I'm going to mostly stir it because I still have some bits here too. So I try to break them up a little.
Okay, Mars, quick tip. Why do you want to keep it pretty loose?
Well, it depends. You don't have to keep it loose. It's just depending on how many colors. As you can see, we're using 3 today. If you thicken it up too much, too quickly, you're going to have less time to work with it. And you may not be able to get the design you want, which is fine. You know, if you want peaks or if you want more solid colors where they don't bleed into each other as much, then you're going to want a thicker batter. But if you want a little bit more fluidity, then you want it to be a little bit more loose.
Okay, so there you go, guys. Good tip. If you want longer to work with your soap batter to get some really intricate colors or go off script and do an inventive swirl like Mars is going to attempt today, you bring
we'll see how that turns out.
you bring it to emulsion, and then it gives you longer time to work with your colors. How's it looking, Mars?
Looking pretty good. See, it's this what you call emulsion. There was no real trace to it. It just, see how the color changed to more of a creamy color than it was before. It was more see-through before. So now it's kind of
a little
more creamy colored. It's thicker. It's more opaque.
There we go.
So, but there's no real trace to it. That's called emulsion. So if you pick this up and you see it leaves like a line or trail, that's called a trace.
And you've taken it too far.
Depends. I mean, I might do it to a lighter trace, or I usually tend to try to not. Now we're using a new set, so I'm hoping that it doesn't. What I'm going to do is, instead of pouring it in all at once, because I do not know if it's going to accelerate, it's a brand new scent for us called Sand Dune. So what I'm going to do is...
And it's also provided to us from the lovely folks at Candora Soaps.
What I'm going to do is pour them into my colors.
And you're doing it from what to what? Darkest to lightest?
You do it from lightest to darkest.
Lightest to darkest. Well,
if a good tip actually is this: if you don't want it to thicken too quickly, hand stir it instead of blending it, because then it's less likely to thicken up too fast on you.
Okay.
If you want it thicker, great. But if you don't want it too thick, hand stir in your colors. Because it's still going to be hot.
Mm-hmm.
It will start to cool down, of course, but it's still hot, so it will thicken up pretty quickly.
Okay, do you have any base left from the original batter, or are you using it all 3 in the colors?
I'm thinking I'm going to put it all 3.
Okay.
And here, so see, pretty much done. I got a little bit left. There we go. But I'm going to wait till the last possible second to put in my, I'll put that there for now. Put in my scent.
Okay.
Now I normally probably just stir it in, but my thing's a little dirty, so we'll see how this goes.
She's referring to the spoon she usually uses.
Yes. But you knew what I was talking about, didn't you?
Yes.
You're smart.
I'm a smart fella.
Still pretty loose. And I'm also doing that in case it accelerates on me. It gives me a little bit more time to work with it.
Okay.
And another good tip, when you put it in, cover it in the blender.
Okay.
What that does,
No air
it
bubbles.
takes some of your air bubbles out of it. Now, our stick blender, it adds air bubbles anyway, but takes the worst of them out, so that's why we do that. Okay. See, it's starting to get a little bit of trace. I don't know if you can see that. It leaves a little bit of a
Okay.
trace there, so
So that basically means we gotta move it a little
it
bit.
depends. It will actually, it'll take a bit longer to really thicken up a lot.
Okay.
But because I haven't worked with this scent before, and I just, I actually meant to go from light to dark, but I wasn't thinking.
You did it the
And
left.
now, instead of yellow, I have orange.
Oh, you did it the left-handed way.
That's alright. It's actually quite a nice color. I've done that before.
For all the left-handed folks out there on YouTube, Marcy's done this one just for you.
I've done that before, but that's alright. Okay, now I'm not going to stick blend it anymore because I don't want it any thicker.
And thank you to Jen and Ariane for a neat tip like that to wazz out your blender, get it cleaned up. Okay.
I normally actually use the spoon. But here we go. Wish us luck that it won't accelerate.
Good luck. Interesting choice using a shot glass to...
Because FOs, fragrance oils,
Mm-hmm.
they actually can eat away at styrofoam and they can actually eat away at paper cups. So it's actually better to use glass.
Okay.
Because if you don't, it actually can, you can have a big spill. Because it actually will eat away. See, it's getting thick, but I should still be able to work with it so far.
Okay.
So far, so good. Good. That's what we want. As far as we know, last we checked, this does not have vanillin in it or vanilla content. Vanilla content will actually discolor your soap.
The higher the vanillin content.
The higher the vanillin content, the darker your soap's going to be.
So if you don't want it to go from pretty to brown...
Or, you know, I know there's people who use vanilla stabilizers, and that's fine, but...
What do you feel about the whole thing?
I think it's okay, but the thing is, vanilla stabilizers only last for so long. So say it might last a few months, it might last up to a year, but it's going to discolor brown. So I kind of think of it as, I'm not going to bother to do that. I'm just going to just design around it. You know, I'll just do black, or I'll use
something, so if it does discolor, you're not really going to notice it that much.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's see here. Actually, I'd rather have this on a flat surface.
Okay.
So I'll move this out of the way. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh, it really smells really good. It smells like a day at the beach. Really nice. A little dribbly. It's alright.
See, one thing in soap making, you will hear the word oops a lot.
Oh, yeah. Oops. See?
See, there we go. Again.
It'd be nice to put it on something. I guess I'm gonna have to go there. Wipe it off later.
There you go. Oh. I love the contrast in the color.
Yeah. And then add the pink and stuff to it too. And make an interesting color. These aren't always the best ones to do because, as you can see, they kind of dribble on you a little bit. Drip, drip. That's why I keep lots and lots of tissue and stuff around. So it's starting to thicken up. So it might accelerate a little bit. Not too bad.
You don't want to go from like a swirl to a plip-plop drop?
Nope, that's pretty bad if you get plip-plop drop. Plip-plop drop is basically when you got soap on a stick, pretty much. It's really thick and you cannot work with it at all.
I'm curious to see what kind of swirl you're going to do here.
It actually sometimes turns out different than how you planned them. And, you know, sometimes they look really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've had ones where you had something completely different in mind, and it ended up really, really neat.
Cool.
That's why it's really good actually to have contrasting colors that stand out a lot against each other.
Okay.
Because then you can actually make really cool swirls that look neat.
Yeah, you can see even from here it's starting to...
Oh, it's pretty thick.
It's starting to
I
thicken.
think it probably... Because I didn't actually blend it too much, so I think it might have accelerated a little bit. Which accelerated means it just heated up a lot more. Because it's already hot.
Yeah.
And so the scent just kind of really heats up more. And we end up with a little bit thicker.
Almost like a pudding consistency.
Yeah, which is fine if you're going for a pudding consistency, and that's, you know, great. Now I just need my rubber. Yeah.
Okay, she's gone to get a skewer to do her swirling, and...
See, come up with, yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys, you're seeing a Marcy original.
basically just pulling a little bit of each color into each other, and then just going around the edge, and it'll tighten it a little bit, like that. And then just move on. Do it again. Just, it's like random. You could do it like that. And just pull it around, flatten it out a little bit, like that, and then just around the edge, like that. And just swirl. Really, it's this. You're just trying to. This is why good contrasting colors, so you can see them all. And each one ends up being just a little bit different. See, sometimes having thicker batter, see, if you had thinner batter, it would actually bleed into each other.
There we go.
And then just...
Final touch is what?
I would just wipe down the ends and clean it up. And just get my napkin here. And we'll just clean up the ends. Just take a paper towel, really, and just clean it up. That's it. Like that. And this is why you always, always, always wear gloves. And I did actually have a mask on earlier because lye really stinks when it's hot. And you don't want to breathe in the fumes.
So always, always remember your protective equipment, safety glasses, mask, gloves, because you are working with chemicals, and we here at Northern Lights want you guys to be safe.
This there. Then it's thick, so there probably isn't any air bubbles, but tap, tap, tap. Gets rid of your air bubbles.
And does that also make it settle?
It can, but it's more for air bubbles.
Okay.
And then final touches. So.
Oh, the pièce de résistance.
Use alcohol. It helps actually prevent soda ash from forming.
What's the percentage of alcohol?
This is 99% alcohol. It doesn't have to be that high. We have it that high because we also do lotions and things like that. And it's 90. Anything above 77%, 80, 95. This is 99%. Is perfect. It's not a guarantee that it's going to prevent it, but it sure helps.
Well, there you go, guys. A cocoa and shea butter soap with sand dune scent with a Marcy original swirl. I'm Doug.
And I'm Marcy.
And thank you for tuning in to Northern Light Soapworks. Hope to see you next time. Please subscribe and share. Bye.
Bye.